For an organization moving down this path, starting to take a focus on data privacy, on security, and maturing in this space, one quickly realizes that in some way, all roads lead to record management. When we're classifying data, when we're categorizing data, at the end of the day, we need to understand our records, we need to understand our information cycle, we need to understand what retention policies, etc., need to be put in place. Andrew, you guys have done a lot of work with us from an Altron security perspective in the record management space, enabling us, helping us to get up and running in this space. I think record management is a subject area that's not necessarily familiar to all organizations out there. Could I maybe ask you just to expand a little bit on record management?
Sure, thanks, Shane. And record management comes from a long past of managing physical records, but now in the modern world, obviously, we're dealing with digital data. Today, many people see things like SharePoint as being a mechanism for records management. Sure, it's a place we can store data and collaborate around it, but it truly doesn't manage the life cycle of that information. And you touched on many of the good points there about applying policy to that information. How long do we need to keep it? When we don't need to keep it anymore, how do we get rid of it? How do we dispose of that data? And how do we keep an audit history that that information existed so that we can prove that we did dispose of it correctly if required through a subject matter access request, etc. So records management really is about the life cycle of information in the organization and applying the right processes to it so that policy can be overlaid on top of that. Of course, it talks very nicely to POPIA and being able to achieve what the legislation is asking for, but it's also a good governance process in any organization to have good records management in place. I think POPIA is certainly going to accelerate doing this at an enterprise level. Many organizations are doing this in silos. The ability, as Debbie was alluding to respond to subject matter access requests across business areas in a cohesive way is certainly going to require centralizing records management more. This doesn't necessarily mean that records management needs to be one physical thing, but certainly being able to link them together through indexing of the information is going to be able to help achieve these objectives.